Let me show you an improvement I've made to an existing agent I've demoed before. This is the video story generator. What this will do is you provide a story topic and the tone of that story. It will generate the story, use a checkpoint block to let you revise and improve the story, create prompts for the story, and then generate the video for it. This is the version that I have demoed before. And now there's an improvement, and let me show you how this has been improved in two ways. One is that there is a new block in MindStudio that lets you extract the file out of the final frame of a video that you've generated. So in this particular workflow, this is the workflow that will generate all the videos for you in that first workflow. Notice here that there are two different variables, launch variables here. One is the prompt. This is similar to the one that I demoed before with the video story generator, where it is one block has generated all the prompts for the story, and then they're being fed incrementally. And then notice there's another variable called previous image. What this is the previous image from the preceding video when this is generated. And you may have heard how people who use like VO3 in Google AI Studio, what they do is a big long manual process. What they do is they make a video in VO3, and then they capture the last frame of it, and then they specify another prompt and use that frame as a reference image for the subsequent video. And they do that over and over again manually, and then they stitch it all together in some separate tool. MindStudio allows you to do all of this programmatically in an agent. So what this does is you specify the video frame that you want to capture the video from, and that is essentially this video immediately generated. It will capture the last frame and save it as an output variable. You could also capture some specific timestamp, but in our case, we want to capture the last frame. And then, unlike this version, where in this version, I was just using a run workflow block to iterate in a sequential order of the videos that were to be made. In this version, you need to do them in separate blocks, run workflow blocks, one at a time. So here we have this first run once block, and I'm using JSON to structure my prompts. And here we see this is the second improvement. I'll talk about that in a moment. But I am using JSON in a JSON array, and each one of these objects is its own separate prompt. So here, I'm referencing JSON as the prompt value, noting that you have to specify JSON so that it recognizes it from which to reference whichever object you want. And in this particular case, I'm referencing the first iteration. And as you probably know, in JSON numbers do not begin with 1, they begin with 0. So then you reference prompt, and this is the name of the object for all of them. Now notice in this first one, there is no value here for the previous image, and that is because you are generating the first video, so there is no image. Then when it runs through this once, notice here it's calling this video improved. It feeds these variables, and of course the first time this runs, there is no previous image variable value. Generates it, captures the last frame of it, and then sends both back. Now notice here that this is being saved as a video and then thumbnail, but here, as the output variable, I am saving it as video 1, thumbnail 1. Now this is significant, thumbnail 1, because now I'm referencing thumbnail run in the next run workflow block. And again, this will look familiar. Here I'm referencing the second object in my set of prompts and thumbnail 1. And then you see the pattern. It goes through, creates it video 2, and then thumbnail 2, and so on. So the moral of the story here is, unlike this version, in my previous version that I did, I would have this block generate as many prompts as necessary, telling it that it was using Google VO3 or OpenAI Sora 2, and noting that, of course, VO3 can only do 8-second videos, then to instruct it, make as many prompts as necessary. That you cannot do that now in this one. You have to prepare as many blocks as you want for your video output. And then you have to instruct in this block, as well as in this checkpoint block, how many prompts segments that you want. And similarly, like if you go review my last video, you'll note that this checkpoint block has been trained to structure the story from a prose version of the story to have segments, camera action points, and that way the prompts are informed here when they're being generated. What is the action? What is the character interaction? What is happening in the scene, and so on. But the big difference here is that you have to specify exactly how many prompts you want to use, and then structure it, and then run through this, merge them, and notice here I have video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and everything else is the same as in my previous version. So what I'm doing here is I'm saving both of these versions for you, and I will share this agent as a remix link if you DM me and request it. So now let me show you the other improvement, and this is something that I've been tweaking a bit. And let me expand this block here so we can take a better look at this. Instead of in this old version, what I would do is when I created the prompts, it would be using pretty much paragraph style of the prompt output. And what I now do is, come back over here, is let me just open this again, is I have explicitly described what I want each prompt to do in JSON. So notice here that there's a scene data, scene 1, the time of the scene, and all of this is being generated by the AI agent. So I don't need to specify all of this. But what I have done is described these keys, like scene, start time, end time, description of the scene, and so on. And you may wonder, how did I derive this? The way I've derived this is when I did a previous demo last week of generating an ad, reverse engineering an ad you find online, like on YouTube Shorts, and reverse engineering it using the analyze video block in MindStudio, it generates this kind of output denoting what the scene is in that video. And I thought, wow, if AI is processing it that way, what if I were to feed the prompts in this JSON structure, and would I get better results? And the answer is sort of, yes, sort of. And I will definitely share some output, and I will show a video output right now in this recording. But I'm going to share this with you. You can look at this and explore this. You may even be able to improve upon this. So this is still a work in progress. Let me share a video here. And this look and feel is something that I've developed before in the previous version. Now I've just put MindStudio branding on this. And this story will describe two professionals who have discovered AI certification in the certification process. And let me play this video for you.
I'm so happy for you. Congratulations on the new role.
Thank you. I still can't believe it happened so fast.
How did you land it? What made them notice you?
My new boss found my LinkedIn posts about AI agents.
AI agents? You've been building those?
Yes, using MindStudio, I showcased different automation solutions I created.
That's impressive. But how did you learn MindStudio?
I invested in myself. I got MindStudio certified through their program.
That certification really made the difference?
Absolutely. The professionals who know how to build, automate, and scale with AI, they're the ones getting promoted.
Leading the new initiatives?
Exactly.
Where do I start? I need to learn this too.
Search for MindStudio University. That's where I began my transformation.
So there we go. So you notice that this is not perfect. You'll notice two things that I've noticed, especially doing different variations of this, is if there are two speakers, then it sometimes gets confused as to which speaker is actually speaking. Either one of two things, the wrong speaker speaks it, or one speaker speaks both sets of dialogue. And then, as you notice, they change characters midway. They sometimes switch places in the car seat. But you notice that in the video, there's a good sense of continuity where it doesn't look completely disjointed between video segments. Remember that there are 6 video segments in this, and that is because of that block here, get last image, and then when it's running each time, like in the second and throughout the rest of these video blocks, it is referencing that previous thumbnail to know from which to begin the next video. But there are challenges with this. Definitely, I've never one-shot this really well, but but this is still great. Now, one thing I've noticed is I've been having a challenging time using Sora 2 in MindStudio. I have had some output with it, but I think the challenge right now with OpenAI is that if you involve people within a video, it is kind of going, you've probably heard about how people are using both living and deceased people like Stephen Hawking being beaten up by wrestlers in videos. And there's such a backlash in that now OpenAI, if you have any people within a video, it throws an error. And that's what happens here. You will find that it'll get partway through this set of videos and then it causes an error. You can try to redo that redo that block. You just click continue failed action. I find that if I do that even continually, like 3 or 4 times, it does not solve the problem. And of course, you need all of these videos to be done in one agent or one run to be successful. One thing that you can do to help you solve some of that is, or not solve all that, but to help solve time is use mock data in like this block, and even this block. Meaning, if you have a story that you like, then you can use mock data. It'll skip all of these, use that mock data in them, and then just start running from the first run block. So I will share some of the output. You see I have several tabs open here. I will share some output in the comments, and I will also add some sort of comment, like if you make a statement like MindStudio can generate awesome videos or something like that, and I will then DM you the remix link, and you can start playing with this as well. So I hope you found this video interesting. I know it was running a little long, but thanks for sticking to the end of it, and I hope you've found it useful. Thanks for watching.